I was clearly the supreme young master of the fairy world, but my father broke my legs and drove me out of the house. Even my supreme bones were dug out by my sister and grafted onto my lifelong enemy. I was not sad, but happy because I only had 5 years left to live. Just when I was about to give up on my ridiculous family relationship, suddenly a soft voice sounded in my mind. Congratulations to the host for activating the 5 gods system. This system will help you climb to the top. But the system detected my physique. The next moment, he let out a human cry. Why are the 5 god bones missing? The 5 divine bones are treasures passed down by the ancestors of the Chu family to future generations. Any member of the Chu family who breaks through the acquired realm before the age of 16 can receive the inheritance of the ancestors, violate your ancestral teachings. However, as the head of the Chu family, Chu Lingtian at this time, I gently put down the unconscious Chu Ming. He is our family's adopted son. I am hated by all my family members. Even the supreme bone was grafted onto Chu Ming, and he still has a good reputation. I am cruel by nature, and not a true member of the Chu family, my 3 sisters immediately agreed. Chu Ling, why are you so shameless? I smiled sadly, and felt incredible, a villain who planned my sister's affairs. I am not even considered a member of the Chu family. If you say I am not a member of the Chu family, then I am not a member of the Chu family. If I did not obtain the unique skills of the 5 divine bones. But do you know this in 5 years? Do you want to take my life just to please Chu Ming? Hearing these words, Chu Lingtian and the others were silent. The bloodline family Chu Wanling and the others didn't want to make it happen. They just wanted to give everything I owned to Chu Ming. Thinking of this, several people frowned, but before he could react, a soft voice suddenly came from behind. Father and sister, what's wrong with me? When they heard the voice, Chu Lingtian and the others immediately turned around. Chu Ming was concerned about my life. They all ignored me and I felt a little sad. However, as soon as I opened my eyes, Chu Ming gave off the scent of green tea. I lost in my father's martial arts competition, right? My 5 divine bones should have belonged to brother Chu Li, right? I was just eating while having this conversation. Chu Ling loves Ning don't worry. How can a father throw away your 5 divine bones at will? So what if Chu Li wins? He is not worthy of saying immediately, but brother Chu Li is not in good health. Without the 5 divine bones, it might be dangerous, but third sister. But Chu Shower said beside him, what does Chu Li have to do with you? It's his fault that he was born weak. Don't think of relying on his natural weakness to hate. On the other hand, right now, I have completely turned my face away. There is only boundlessness in my heart. In loneliness, I turned around silently and dragged my broken body towards the outside of the hall. Then Chu Lingtian's angry roar came from behind. Chu Li, who let you go? Chu Ming was injured by you, why don't you come and see him? Is your brother, are you still considered a member of the Chu family? I didn't look back, I just held back the blood flowing in my mouth and replied with a smile, I will not be a member of the Chu family. Don't call me anymore. Hearing this sentence, Chu Ming Lingtian's body was shocked. He told me to get out of the hall immediately. 2 seconds later, Chu Lingtian roared again and said, Chu Li, you dare, if you dare to get out of the Chu family, never come back again. Forward without looking back. Until then, I found that the Chu family is a shackle for me. From now on, I, Chu Li, will only be Chu Li. His life can only last 5 years. But he didn't care about what his brother said, he whispered. I would rather spend the last 5 years killing demons, and living my life. The system that heard my words was stunned. He never expected that today he would actually see the hope he once had in someone, with the wrong household name. He never expected, there is still someone like you in this world. Since you have decided that even if it only lasts 5 years, I will make you a peerless martial god. With the sound of system evolution coming from my ears and mind, congratulations to the host for obtaining the peerless martial god system. At the same time, on the other side everyone in the Chu family's main hall was already arguing. Tian Chuli, this rebellious son, actually dared to leave unbelievably. How could he really leave the Chu family? Where in the building could he have more sources of power than the Chu family? But he looked at Chu Ming indifferently. Xiao Dao waited for him to come back and revoke his place in the Shengwu Academy and asked Ming to replace him at work, eyes filled with surprise. Really, sister, can I do this? Did you get a place for brother Chu Li? And this Shengwu Academy is the highest school in the building. Just entered the academy. It's an honor. He immediately smiled and touched his head. Of course, Chu Li is weak and not suitable for the Chu family's martial arts. The quota should be for you. Linger is right. Since this Chu Li will not leave the Chu family, it just so happens that he doesn't want a quota in the Shengwu Academy. Chu Ming was overjoyed when he heard this. He hurriedly thanked the other 2 people, thanked his father, and thanked his sister. But he never expected that at this time, the doubtful voice of the second sister Chu Rian came to him with this matter. Will he really inherit the blood of the Chu family? Chu Li was the only male in Shengwu Academy, but revoking Chu Li's quota in the best school in the building might ruin his life. However, these words made Chu Lingtian unhappy. Rian, what are you talking about? Give Chu Li his quota. Knowing that something is wrong, he is a white-eyed wolf of our Chu family and does not deserve anything. How could a Ming enter the academy if the second sister did not cancel his quota? Seeing what the Chu family said, Chu Rian could only find an excuse and said, actually, I can think of a way to get a place. I just don't think the Chu family should lose the academy's place in vain. I should call Chu Li back. Chu Rian was the prime minister of the building, because of her wits. Li Muji's disciples had very good connections. It was not impossible to win another place in Shengwu Academy for the Chu family. His adopted son, Chu Ming, was a bit bluffing. Isn't it true that Chu Li can go to school again? It was not easy until he embarrassed himself and left Chu. If two young masters from the Chu family appeared in Shengwu Academy, one of them was real and the other was fake. He, the fake one, would definitely be eliminated. Thinking of this, Chu Ming became worried.
Fortunately, after thinking for a moment, Chu Shower laughed. Second sister, you don't need to go out to find Chu Li. How could he really leave? But Chu Ruyan felt light after hearing it. For some reason, she had an inexplicable feeling. That this time it was different that I didn't know. At the same time, second sister, Chu Ruyan was in a hurry. Wandering around, she wanted to find and persuade me to stay in the Chu family, but she found a problem, that is, she didn't know where I lived. It was ironic that Chu Ruyan, as a sister, didn't know where her brother lived. An inexplicable feeling suddenly arose in Chu Ruyan's heart, and she felt like she had gone too far. Chu Ruyan looked anxiously at Butler Zhao at the side. Do you know where Chu Li's residence is? Hesitated. Although he woke up, he still timidly led Chu Ruyan forward. However, the further he walked, the more confused he became. Because Butler Zhao was leading the way north, the surrounding houses became more and more dilapidated as time went by, and the environment was incomparable to the south courtyard. This was not looking for Chu Li. He was clearly heading towards the area where the servants of the Chu mansion lived. Butler Zhao, where are you going? I asked you to find Chu Li. I didn't ask you to go back and rest. Unexpectedly, Butler Zhao shook his head when he heard this. Shouldn't I go back to rest? My courtyard is already gone. As he spoke, he pointed to a useless room in front of him. When she heard Butler Zhao's words, Chu Rian was stunned. You said Chu Li lived in a place like this? And involuntarily thought of Chu Ming's house. Chu Ming's house was located in the middle of the Chu family, had all the pavilions and the environment was very beautiful. But Chu Li's house was actually an abandoned slum. In Pukong district, this sharp contrast made Chu Rian's heart suddenly ache. Let's go find him. But as soon as she reached the door, Chu Rian frowned again. What happened? Gathering formation. In this Qi gathering formation was a formation that helped juniors break through realms and lay a solid foundation, just like Yang Zi. In order to lay a good foundation for Chu Ming's mansion, Chu Lingtian, she did not hesitate to spend a lot of money to get the golden jade tree. It could be said that it was the only strange formation in the building. But what about Chu Li's place, let alone what kind of strange formation? She could not even see a trace of heaven and earth energy, only a stagnant and gloomy energy. Thinking of this, Chu Ruyan looked at the cultivation resources allocated to Chu Li in Butler Zhao's house. Maybe someone had taken advantage of them. But Butler Zhao was stunned. The second young lady and the young master did not have any cultivation resources at all. The young master's name was not included in the list that was distributed a few years ago. Chu Ruyan was stunned. She never expected such a situation to occur. The Chu family of Nuo University actually did not provide any training resources to the young master Chu Li, and in such a situation, Chu Li actually stepped into the acquired realm. How could this be possible? Chu Ruyan's heart ached again. I wanted to go find Ali in person. At the same time, the building passed the official road of the western suburbs. I thought of the system prompt in my mind. Western Suburbs Knife Bandit Mission. The evaluation is perfect. You have reached the middle stage of the Hautian realm. I leaned against a big tree and looked at the system prompt with a speechless face. This really gave me so many rewards. Afraid of not cheating. However, as soon as I finished speaking, I almost fell on the road as the power of the blood cry passed by Sai. The body is still too weak. The power of the blood cry can only explode and cannot last long, so I have to let you develop as soon as possible. You will face the next step of the right task. After hearing what the system said, I couldn't help but look at the taskbar. New mission has been obtained. Baiyang Inn is located outside the city. There are rumors of recent monster activity. People often pass by this place and disappear for no reason. There is no progress. Please investigate the truth of Baiyang Inn. The mission level is 2 stars. I watched this task silently. In fact, I know the truth about Baiyang Inn. The demons disguised as slaughterers of passers-by on the official road. In the past, because they killed so few, they never attracted attention. But the pig demons led by their leader recently broke through to the heavenly realm and their appetite increased greatly. At the same time, A group of people were ambushing outside Baiyang Inn with lanterns hanging on them. There were about 10 people, but most of them were dancers with strong shadows. The girl was led by a girl with fair and fragrant skin, but she was wearing shameless clothes. "Miss, let's hurry up. These dozen people can kill monsters everywhere." The maid next to her wanted to say more, but was stopped by the palace master. She waved her hand confidently, "No problem. The three shadows had enough energy to kill the devil tonight." In the inn, he glanced at the boss, the second child, and the old man who had strong inner demon power. His three eyes showed envy. If the devil in the Hautian realm did not provoke the demon-killing sutra, they would definitely be able to dominate the place. Just when they imagined that they could become great teachers, there was a sudden knock on the door. Then came the pleasant voice of the girl. "Is the shop here? Our sister is passing by here and wants to stay for one night. Please ask the big brother and the second brother," who opened the door to do business with great enthusiasm. Zhu Lao smiled. "I didn't expect to have such good luck today." There were still people passing by at this late hour, just in time to see Leek, and then his face was like a hole. Lao San once again turned into a fat-headed and big-eared servant. However, not long after, something unexpected happened, and a shocking pig roar broke the tranquility of the night and stood up, and rushed into the lobby of the inn. They saw Zhu Lao San lying still on the ground and had been hacked to death by 10 air mirror dancers in front, who were dressed like military generals, standing upright and awe-inspiring. Commonly seen and covered in blood, the devil who dared to molest our building. People come to die. The two demons were furious. Human race, looking for death. Seeing this, he sacrificed his true body and rushed over. The Nangong's sword struck him. His heart was beating wildly. Hao Tianjing couldn't notice it. Miao himself was a dancer in the middle stage of Hu Tianjing. Be two small realms ahead to have a chance of winning. However, I didn't expect this pig monster to actually break through Master Nangong. Although he regretted it in his heart, he could only grit his teeth and stand firm in the Nangong Jianai building. Master Nangong, a famous swordsman with extraordinary swordsmanship, even got the original inheritance. At first glance, his success was mediocre. However, no matter which sword he struck, it could only penetrate an inch and could not cause serious injury. The pig demon smiled disdainfully. "Stinky woman, you tickle my hair." Then the pig demon waved his hand. The long knife slashed Master Nangong's thigh. Master Nangong couldn't react. His blood came out. Master Nangong was shocked and looked at the pig demon in front of him. He was about to enter the middle stage of the acquired mirror. The information deviation was so great. Facing the powerful and heavy attack, Mr. Nangong struggled to do it. However, unexpectedly, something unexpected happened at this moment. A figure suddenly appeared at the end of the road. He noticed that there was someone nearby. The pig boss raised his head with a sword, but the next moment he saw a flash of sword light coming towards him. The devilish energy that came to protect him was suppressed by the powerful energy, and sure enough, the pig boss felt a wave of heat. The next moment, his eyes turned around the scene in front of him in shock. The mission evaluation is perfect. What kind of situation can be perfect? I can't help but listen to the system playing and singing. I didn't expect it to be so outrageous. I only heard the system prompt sound. Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. Your realm has been upgraded. You have reached the final stage. Hao Tianjing Li suddenly felt a heat in his body, as if there were countless fireballs burning every pore in his body. He frantically absorbed the energy of heaven and earth. After a while, I felt the power twice as strong as before. Can't help but feel afraid. At this time, several figures walked out of the inn not far away. The woman inside was dead. "Are you okay?" Looked at me with a pair of bright eyes. "Such a beautiful girl, this role is not much better than my sister. But why is she looking at me like this? I feel the twilight in Nangong City. I don't understand the hostility, but I will know the answer soon. Chu family, even if you don't tell me, I know you. Although your swordsmanship is extraordinary, I still recognize the exorcism swordsmanship of the Chu family." The Chu family knew it first. There was news that the young master was going to enter the Sacred Martial Academy, and then he took me into the urn with the monster chair in the inn, and now he sent someone to come to save me. What exactly did he want to do with such careful calculation? When I heard the girl say these words, my mind was full of greetings, but before I could reply, I was shocked by Nangongshi's next words. Unwilling to marry into the Chu family, Chuli Nangong family, as the powerful family behind the Demon Slayer Temple, has always had a tense relationship with the Chu family for more than 10 years. The tension between the two families in this generation has increased. The relationship tends to ease, but no one expected this. Although it was a good idea, it was strongly opposed by Master Nangong, the eldest daughter of the Nangong family. There was a reason why she did this because according to Master Nangong's personal investigation, although Chu Li was Chu Li, a member of the family, but he was a traitor and was very unpopular in the palace. Even the new servants did not know that this young master existed. He only knew his adopted son Chu Ming. Someone like him must have a very bad character. He was forcibly beaten this time. After hearing that the son of the Chu family was going to enter the academy, he tried his best to get points not to be lower than Chu Li so that the family would not bring up the old matter again. I think this is actually a trap. The mysterious person in front of me, Master Nangong, is unwilling. On the other hand, I finally figured out the situation in the novel, Legend of Martial Arts. Chu Li is the protagonist, but there are also several female protagonists named Nangong. Teacher is one of them. According to the normal plot, he wouldn't be wandering around the world like he is now. Originally, he should have been in the near future. When he entered the Shengwu Mansion Academy to study, he would face many competitors. One of them was Master Nangong, the genius of the Nangong family, who was nominally engaged to him. The Nangong family advocated an alliance with Chu family competition rather than cooperation. After Chu Li entered the Shengwu Academy, the two began a fierce battle. Around the genius list rankings took this opportunity to eradicate the genius of the Nangong family so as to weaken Nangong, the head of the Demon Slayer division, but unfortunately this conspiracy was discovered by Chu Li. Finally, after some twists and turns, the two reached a reconciliation and joined forces to fight the enemy. During the battle, Master Nangong was released by Chu Li, and finally Fang Xin agreed. Of course, this is the content of the book. The actual situation has changed a lot since Chu Ming appeared that the Shengwu Academy and even the Chu family have cut off contact with me now. But I didn't expect that by chance, I met this heroine. However, I was saved. There is nothing wrong with her life now, she should still have great hostility towards the Chu family. Seeing Master Nangong's vigilant eyes, I sighed, forget it, let's do it. So I turned around and looked at the direction Nangong fell. I went out first and then untied my ties. The next moment, Master Nangong's call came, but I didn't care anymore. I closed my eyes and entered a deep sleep in the living room on the second floor. In my heart, I, the proud daughter of the Nangong family, was in a state of confusion. A master who could kill a monster with just one sword before suddenly fainted like this. Normal people would suspect that Master Nangong felt the same way at first, thinking that this mysterious person from the Chu family had exposed his lie, so he pretended to be unconscious to avoid the pretentious act. His behavior made him angry, but he soon realized that something was wrong. As the aura of the man who fell to the ground rapidly weakened. Could he really be sick? I couldn't help but step forward and take off my mask. The next moment, I couldn't help but widen my eyes and saw that inside the mask was a handsome young man who even wanted to kill women and bribe them. This man was about the same age as me and he looked very weak. In this state, he could be cut down with a sword. However, the pig demon's head made him even more shocked because after the body search, Master Nangong already knew that I was the son of the Chu family, Chu Li, who was also his nominal fiancé. He glanced at the sickly young man on the bed, Master Nangong, and couldn't help but turn his face away. The heat on my face. Although I had heard of the rich man born from the young master of the Chu family, I did not expect him to be so handsome. However, this was not the key point. This seemed to be different from the rumors. Chu Li, the eldest son of the Chu family, he himself had mysteriously disappeared several years ago. Poor martial arts talent was eventually exploited by the Chu family. But now it seems that this is really unreasonable. Although Master Nangong has reached a higher level because of the family secretary, at this age, he has reached the advanced stage of acquiring martial arts, and is definitely not without talent in martial arts. Maid Xiao Dao on the side. I couldn't help but say that since it's not a problem of martial arts talent, Miss Dao, it should be a problem of her facial character, she might be a libertine from the Chu family. However, after hearing these words, Master Nangong shook his head slightly. Her character there shouldn't be a big problem, so the Chu family's exorcism sword technique it seems to have high requirements, but my father once said that this is the right path. Only people with noble character and a heart for the world can practice it to a high level. Before he used the sword energy was like a rainbow, and it had awe-inspiring righteousness. I'm afraid I'm already at a small level of success in destroying demons and killing demons. How could there be a problem with such a character? Dao was shocked. This was the first time he heard his woman praise someone so much. Turning to Miss Xiao Dao, he noticed that Master Nangong was looking at the boy on the bed with a rare look. Miss Ru, do you think the rumors are not true? But it should be true that Chu Li was ostracized in the Chu family. Otherwise, why didn't the Chu family come now? Master Renengong couldn't help but feel angry in his heart. Although Chu Li was hated by his own family, he was still a member of the Chu family no matter what. He knew clearly that he was weak, but he didn't even send a relative follower. Even though I don't agree with the marriage, she is still my fiancée. How could the Chu family treat her like this? Is it because of me that they are targeting Chu Li like this? The more she felt that it might be because of Mr. Nangong. Not only did he reject the marriage, but he also joined the Nangong family's hardline stance against the Chu family. He openly opposed the Chu family many times. Yet the good looks of the Chu family. Thinking about it, all of this seemed reasonable. I woke up in bed at this time, but I didn't expect that Yi Jian, who was demonstrating with all his strength, would end up like this. As expected, without the 5 divine bones, the time I could use my strength was very short. It seems that I have to find a way to solve this problem. To Chu Li, are you okay? Mr. Nangong of the Nangong family. Do you still recognize what I said? Mr. Nangong's words were a bit difficult. In fact, he and Chu Li had met each other when they were young, but they had different impressions of each other. I didn't expect them to meet again like this. After more than 10 years of separation, when their engagement was only in name. I recognize him. It's been a long time. Tell me, Mr. Chu, why are you here? Why do you want to save me? I didn't expect that he then smiled and shook his head, Miss Nangong. There is no need to call him Mr. Chu. In fact, I have left the Chu family to make a living on my own. Mr. Nangong's face showed a surprised expression. What do you mean? What's the reason? He lowered his gaze. Then I laughed at myself. It's nothing. I'm just an outsider in the family. Was Mr. Nangong's physical inheritance really implied to me? It was a taboo to leave the family. Seeing his pale face, Mr. Nangong did not believe that such a thing would happen. But the next moment, my words completely ignited his anger. Born weak. The Chu family's 5-god valley can only live for 5 years, but the Chu family is not willing to give it to me. Instead, it is given to their adopted son Chu Ming. What did the Chu family do to do such a bastard thing? He faintly felt me. There must be a reason for not getting the 5-god valley. The Nangong family only has one daughter in this generation. Among them married, either I will marry or the son will be given to the Nangong family. In this case, if I have the 5-god valley, I will give birth. She will improve greatly, which is undoubtedly very beneficial to the Nangong family. On the other hand, if I am not given the 5-god valley, even if 1 or 2 of the Chu family's 5 divine blood leaks, they will probably have mediocre blood qualifications or even become weak like me. The benefits of marriage are not the benefits of external blood. The Chu family had a good calculation, but they were actually willing to sacrifice their relatives for it. But after thinking for a moment, Mr. Nangong still made the decision to leave Chu. Because the Chu family already had no place for him. How about coming to my Nangong family? I heard this and opened my eyes wide. I looked at the sincere Master Nangong and was touched in my heart, but in the end I shook my head, my life for myself. Thank you Miss Nangong for your kindness, but I already have a goal. I want to use the last 5 years of my life to kill demons and do something for this world. Hearing these words, Master Nangong's expression widened in surprise. He looked at me as if today is the first time meeting a young man from a noble family, who has the instinct to enjoy everything that ordinary people can't enjoy, and use his last life to kill demons for ordinary people. At this moment, Master Nangong suddenly felt like committing suicide and bribery. He just thought about my image. I have grown taller and my weak appearance has deeply touched the softest part of Master Nangong's heart. I thought Master Nangong took out a wooden box and suddenly smiled. Ali, can I call you that? Can you accept this? Maybe I can do it in the future. The next morning, Master Nangong had already left. I turned my head and looked at a wooden box placed beside the bed. Inside is a very delicate bell, and I also know its function very well. This is a very precious item made by the Nangong family using secret techniques. According to legend, this life bell is made by the Nangong family according to the number of years a person needs at birth. Usually, there is 1 master and 2 gifts, a total of 3. Its function is also very simple, that is, to save lives and ask for help. You only need to use the energy in your body to activate the bell. No matter how far away it is, the owners of the other 2 bells will also know its location. This thing must be intended for your closest people, but I didn't expect it. What is surprising is that Master Nangong actually gave one to me. Is it natural that I should save again in the future? Looking back at these words, I can only shake my head and smile. In the original work, the Jiangnan Palace Master also gave the life bell to Chu Li, but that was only after the 2 resolved their misunderstanding and reconciled in the Shengwu Academy competition a year later. Unexpectedly, in reality, Chu Li got the life bell a year earlier. Being able to mobilize 20 Demon Slayer division captains anywhere, it seems that he still doesn't believe me. At this time, the system prompt sound came. He has obtained a new mission, Blood-Seeking Mountain Temple in the fog-shrouded Yunlong Mountain. The blood stains in the air are a sign of great disaster. The woodcutters at the foot of the mountain often disappear. The famous celebrities who live in seclusion in the mountains also lose contact. Has angered the gods on the mountain. The evidence is that someone saw a huge blood stain in the mountain temple. For a moment, the people at the foot of the mountain were covered in traces. The mission level is 2.5 stars. I raised my eyebrows slightly when I saw this mission. This mountain temple mission does not seem to be in the original work. Movement, but why is the mission level only 2.5 stars? The system heard my words and its voice sounded very simple, because the mission level is based on your strength from the mission naturally increases. I nodded slightly and had already thought about some things. My health is getting worse. With my current physical condition, I might faint in the middle of the fight. I need to find some pills to survive. It seems that I can only go back to the martial arts academy. Thinking of this, I clicked and followed the team, entering the city from various places all the way back to the Imperial Martial Arts Academy, founded by the Shah dynasty emperors, the 5 emperors. There are branches all over the country, and the purpose is very simple, which is to recruit talented warriors from all over the world. If the Shengwu Academy is a place where the younger generation of powerful families compete, then the Martial Arts Academy is the birthplace of civilian geniuses. Just go ahead. When I entered the gate of the Martial Arts Academy, I didn't expect that a beautiful woman entered the Martial Arts Academy with many people. Wait a minute. Chu Ruyan actually appeared here. She wanted to know that I entered the Imperial Martial Arts Academy, but I never told the Chu family. I said it before, but now Chu Ruyan appears here by my own family. Thinking of this, I sneered. At this time, many warriors in the Martial Arts Academy came out, led by a white-haired old man who stopped her directly, vice president of the Imperial Martial Arts Academy. This woman, this is the Imperial Martial Arts Academy. Please don't disturb, Uncle Bai said with a serious face. Chu Ruyan was anxious when she saw this move not to trespass. I just want my brother to go home. I am the Chu family. Chu Ruyan is Chu Li's biological sister. Chu Ruyan stretched out her hand and pointed at me. I have to ask the Chu family if I want to choose a girl. When Uncle Bai said this, he turned and looked at me. This woman claims to be your sister, but is there such a thing? I shook my head as soon as I spoke. I don't recognize Chu Ruyan. After hearing this, her eyes widened and she was surprised to say that. But I laughed. Before I said that, how do you say that I am trash and cruel? Don't you all know each other now? I have left the Chu family and don't want to deal with you anymore. Then I turned around without saying a word. After leaving Chu Ruyan, he wanted to chase after her, but a hand appeared in front of him. This Miss Chu of the Chu family, Chu Li, a student of this college, seems to not recognize you. Please leave immediately. Chu Ruyan stood outside the gate of the 5th college in despair. Before this, she had imagined the situation of the two meeting. In Chu Ruyan's opinion, as long as she proposed to let Chu Li return to the Chu family, Chu Li would definitely agree, no matter what happened to him. Such a reprimand would end with a smile, but this time the situation was obviously different. Chu Li actually left without saying a word, not even wanting to say a word to her. A voice came from the side. Second brother, look, what did I say? It's just a white-eyed wolf. You really don't recognize and don't know anything. Chu Shower, the 3rd daughter of the Chu family, walked over while speaking. She looked at the gate of the 5th courtyard with a disdainful look. It seemed that Chu Li still had some self-awareness and knew that he was not worthy of entering the Shengwu Academy. Then he would just stay in the 5th courtyard. Shower, how could you say that to him? But your brother, Chu Shaoi's face was calm when he heard this. He wanted to kill him several times. When Chu Ruyan heard this, she was stunned for a moment and was speechless. It was not without reason that the Chu family was like this. I once wanted to kill Chu Ming in the name of practicing opera. Of course, Chu Ruyan and the other two were busy with their own affairs and were often away from home, so they didn't witness it with their own eyes. It shouldn't be wrong because it was confirmed by Chu Ruyan, so the three of them accepted this statement. The image of Li in their hearts also gradually became cruel, cunning and extremely evil. Hearing this, Chu Shower was unhappy and frowned. Second sister, what's wrong with you? Why do you keep saying good things to him? Chu Ruyan shook her head in a low voice. She wasn't like that. Do you mean Chu Ming is lying or that father is lying? No, I didn't say that. Facing such a question, Chu Shower snorted and turned around and left. I thought you came here because you were stunned by that Chu Li. It doesn't make sense to find the Chu family here. Seeing this, Chu Ruyan couldn't help but sigh. When the two returned to the Chu family, my attitude towards Chu Ruyan also spread. When it was heard by other people in the Chu family, the head of the family, Chu Lingtian, was furious. Chu Li actually dared to say that he did not know Ruyan and made Ruyan embarrass herself in the 5th courtyard. Chu Ming on the side was secretly excited when he heard this. Although I was very happy to have left this house, Chu Ming's face turned into a crying expression after thinking for a moment. He said, I'm sorry, father. It's because of me that I made brother Chu Li angry. When Chu Ming said this, Chu Wanling and Chu Shower hurriedly comforted Ming. This has nothing to do with you, right? Chu Li is not good. But Chu Ruyan hesitated and thought for a moment, then came in and asked Chu Ming, did you say Chu Li wanted to kill you before? Is this true? Is there a misunderstanding? Suddenly hearing this topic, Chu Ming's face immediately stiffened and he hesitated. Talk about since I went to your Chu Li residence. You have been acting more and more confusing for the past 2 days. Originally, you were half of Chu Ming's teacher, but recently you didn't come to teach him poetry or care about Chu Ming's injury. Instead, you went around looking for that Chu Li. Shengwu Academy. Can you get it? What should I do if I get a good ranking? When I saw my eldest sister, Chu Wanling, she was a little angry, with a dissatisfied expression on her face. Second sister, what did you say? How could Chu Ming lie? Chu Ming nodded hurriedly and followed Chu Shaoi's words. Yes, Sister Ruyan, I didn't lie. Chu Lingtian on the side, he was even more angry. He really suspected his brother. I think you are chasing Chu Li and chasing the devil. Don't mention this matter again. Chu Lingtian could say something to his father, just shook his head and denied it, but the seeds of doubt were planted in his heart. After that, Chu Lingtian, the 3 women who read the fortune-telling, asked them to go to Shengwu Academy in a few days. Chu family, we must get the first place. Do you have any thoughts on this matter? I have inquired about this and found that among the students who entered Shengwu Academy this year, Master Nangong of the Nangong family is temporarily ranked first. Ming wants to be number 1 and must overtake the Nangong family. The little girl has always been at odds with the Chu family. To deal with her, isn't it because Chu Ling and Chu Shao complained about the second marriage? The clan is definitely a good thing, but it became chaotic because the eldest daughter of the Nangong family refused to marry him. Otherwise, if we just say hello, Ming can get it. After listening to Chu Shaoi's words for the first time, Chu Ruyan felt a little uncomfortable, but she couldn't say anything. She didn't expect Chu Wanling to say such a thing at this time. How about letting Chu Ming marry into the Nangong family instead of Chu Li?